punks ain't got shit on me.
Say what again?
Well, we some kind of suicide squad.
You can't handle the truth.
It's a trap.
Bad biscuits make the baker broke, bro.
Game. Blouses.
Boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Okei, 11. episood.
jah.
Marco ja Hannes. Ja täna meil on külaline kaugelt maalt ja mere tagant ja me räägime erinevatel teemadel, mis puudutab inimkonda ja inimkonna arengut. Küll aga on meil see episood inglise keeles, nii et kes ei oska inglise keelt, siis võite skippida järgmise episoodini või kuulata vanu episoodi nii kaua, kuni meil järgmine nädal tuleb uus episood välja, mis on taaskord eesti keeles.
jah.
Aga
Lihtsalt FYI, kellel mängib järjest, et siis ta teab, et nüüd inglise keeles, et kui ei räägi seda keelt, siis mis ei ole väga tõenäoline.
Mis ei ole väga kuulata väga tõenäoline, aga you know, fuck it. Igatahes, oli.
Okay.
All I understood of that was fuck it. Literally all I got.
I was just about to say that actually we use so many English words like when we say anything that it's gonna be almost natural to have an English podcast now, so it's like
cool. Am I supposed to introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Ollie, as you guys probably just said.
Yep.
Starting to move to Tallinn now, like being here on and off for like the last few months, but really getting settled in now. And apparently this is like the podcast to be on. I've listened to it before, but it made no sense to me.
Yeah. As you speak no Estonian.
As I speak no, I need to learn some Estonian. It's on the books. At the moment, the only phrase I really got is iluonilus, which is like pretty good. Did I say that right? Iluonilus? There we go. Nice. But so do you need to know about me? I guess so.
Yeah, you can say something, whatever you feel like.
From England, raised in Uganda. Don't really feel attached to any nation. As you do, just kind of wandering the world. But Estonia is pretty cool, man. It's the coldest place I've ever lived, but
you're
in a good way.
You're a man of the world.
Man of the world. Yeah. Child of the earth.
Yes. World is my home.
That's it. It's all of our homes, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's all of our homes. So, I guess that's why we need to talk about what we're going to talk
nicely.
About. Little segue.
Well, we can talk about anything you want. We can switch the subject later on, you know.
Yeah, but the point you wanted to...
you sent me a few things what you guys have been talking about, and they're all like pretty deep.
Yeah, we're deep
conversations.
guys.
I like that, you know, talking about shit in a good way. But so like, I texted to you like, let's talk about the end of human evolution. Which was like, whoa.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. It's upon us.
Well, I don't necessarily think it means we're all gonna die, right?
No,
So evolution, the idea that things get better over time through like survival of the fittest.
Oh, right? Yeah.
You know, like Darwin, he had that whole thing, and through thousands of years, unless you believe that the Earth is only like, 5,000 years? If you're religious, that's cool. The rest of us who believe in evolution.
The rest of us who believe in science.
The rest of us who believe in science think that, over time, there's lots of mistakes, and the mistakes kind of fade away, and the good shit carries on, and then we evolve into cool creatures, right?
Yes.
But humanity seems to have, like, changed a little bit, to the point where, like, and, it's up for discussion. I'm not necessarily saying this is a thesis, but this idea that everybody's having kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
The weak ones are still having
kids,
kept alive through medicine, which is a great thing. I'm not saying we should get rid of that. But what's the impact going to be like?
We don't have the Sparta moment.
Right, we don't have that Sparta moment, exactly. Like, there's no real, like, this is Sparta, and, like, there's enough to go around to keep everybody alive. You're getting crazy overpopulation because of it. Like, again, like I said, I was from Uganda. And, like, up until, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, medicine there was like really hard to come by. So the natural social thing with the family is to have like as many kids as you can, like 5, 6, 7 kids, and they help you with like your farm, and you probably lose like half the kids. And so you've got to have lots just to make sure that
it was the same in Estonia. Like for 120 years ago, it was the same. We had large families.
It was the same everywhere actually. Like in 1800s, like before Industrial Revolution.
Industrial Revolution was a bit
1800s?
Like before, 1800s. Well, Estonia was always dragging behind, but
we were a part of Russia at that point, so it was.
But as much as I like researched, that's when actually everything went like better.
Right. Well, it's penicillin, right?
Yes, penicillin and everything. Yeah.
Alive. Anyway, there was a guy called Fitzhaber who invented something called the Haber process. You guys remember that from school? It's like the stinky experiment you do. It like really smells, but basically the process is you take nitrogen from the air and you create ammonia through a couple of steps. I can't remember what the steps were. Don't ask me that. But you basically end up with
some chemistry stuff.
Yeah, chemistry stuff. It's not chemistry, and it stinks. I remember that. But before that, the only way to get nitrogen out of the air was through bacterial breakdown, lightning strikes, and and shit, basically.
Oh, wow.
And that was it. So there was a limited amount of nitrogen. If it wasn't for all this nitrogen that the Fitz-Haber process, so artificial fertilizer, effectively.
Now I remember,
I think, I must have told you this before. And so, and basically, if it wasn't for this Fitz-Haber process, all the arable land of the planet at the moment would only be able to sustain 2 billion people. There just wouldn't be enough food to go around. Because all the topsoil gets washed off, there's no natural fertilizer, and everything's fucked. But this guy, this one scientist, surely somebody else would come up with it if he didn't. Mainly because Germans landlocked, they had supply problems, logistic problems. And then, he creates this thing. Suddenly you got population, fewer people starving, you can just buy fertilizer and make things grow when they shouldn't grow.
Exactly. It's the thing that where we push ourselves into corner with the overpopulation. A lot of times the science comes to help where, hey, we can make bigger fruits and vegetables now. So
genetically modified and all that.
Yeah. So the Sparta thing is as well. Actually, I wanted to add to this that there's a lot of theories that are working on where, in the future, maybe you can just select the baby you want. Oh, I want it to have brown hair. Oh, I want it to have blue hair. Oh, I want it to be perfect as a swimmer or whatever, and just create your perfect baby.
This is such a Nazi thing.
We're back on it again. Maybe you want maybe you don't want the white baby,
But you want a healthy baby, right? You want
baby, of course. But that's the main thing. But that's the main thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And a smart baby and a strong baby and all that.
And there's actually a movie about it as well. I think
Gattaca. Jude Law and Ethan
Hawke. Yes.
Great film.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's really. You haven't watched it. Watch it. It's a sci-fi film, but you get really excited because they got a rocket ship on the front. Yeah. You never see a fucking rocket ship.
It's a drama.
But actually, it's a really smart one. Yeah. Basically, Jude Law plays someone who genetically should have been superior, but then gets in a car crash or whatever.
Oh yeah, and he's in the
wheelchair.
Tell me more.
But that's most of the movie is like this. It's not later on.
Okay.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, when I've watched it.
But it has the idea in it as well.
But so let's say, because there's laws against eugenics at the moment, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and I think those laws are a good thing because it gives unfair advantages to people who can afford to go down those paths and whatever.
Exactly. The rich will be the first ones, of course.
But then, so what does that mean for human evolution if everybody's having kids and it's not just survival of the fittest anymore, but it's just everybody survives. So you get no efficiencies through natural selection.
It isn't quite that.
Okay.
I think that the fittest is not anymore physically the fittest, but it's mentally the fittest. Who will get the best job? Who will be, who can afford their family the best shit to live? I don't know, a house, medicine, food, whatever. If you aren't mentally able to provide for your family, then you will fail. And
but your family still has. Yeah, it's the opposite to that. There's an amazing graph. I wish I remember where I saw this, but it's the level of education in women, and then the likelihood that they're going to have kids. So basically, the average number of kids you'll have.
Yeah, because
the higher the education. Yeah, that's it. By PhD level, you got a very low child rate.
Yeah.
Whereas lower education is a massive child rate. So it's the opposite of that.
Yeah,
right?
but
it's almost the. I don't want to say the dumber you are, because that's not fair. It's
the less
underdeveloped countries.
No, because it's not. Yes, it's
underdeveloped countries have
less ambitious you are almost, the less likely you are. And is ambition a good thing that we want as a trait within our evolution?
Well, about 20 years ago or something like that, I can't remember. I watched a documentary about this. The documentary was made in 20 years ago or something like that. I watched it, I don't know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know, whatever. And they said that human race will develop into two races, actually. Ones that are smart and ones that are not. And the ones that are smart are actually there are really, really few of them, us.
Again, the movie. Again, we have the movie about that as well.
But, and then we will have Idiocracy is everybody is dumb. But then the point is that...
Well, it was that the smart people died out pretty much. And the dumb people just kept reproducing.
But the point is actually that the smart people will enslave the stupid people but the stupid people will not know it, so that they will continue on working for them, and they will be like, because they will be mating with other stupid people, and then they will have a totally different race of their own, and the smart people will mate with other smart people, and then they will make genetically perfect human beings, which will develop into more perfect and so on. And the people who are, you know, don't have the opportunity to learn or whatever, make advancements on their body or whatever, and then they will be like retards, basically.
Yeah, not to put too fine a point on it.
No, but the point
that's
was
a nice idea.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Well, a nice idea. That's an interesting idea. But I don't see that in reality. Like smart people,
but that's
especially
the point.
by like they tend to get to their second or third wives or husbands. Like the smart ones are like not picking them for they're clever. They're picking them for other reasons.
Yeah.
And having loads of kids like these, you know, these 6-year-old guys who've made all their money. They're super smart. And then they have like 10 kids with some.
But what will become of their kids?
They'll be
trust fund
kids, and they'll have more kids, and they'll just like there's no evolution left. Like
yeah, but okay, but your point
gains.
that the PhD women who are really smart
and men, but
you made the point.
I did. That was the graph. Yeah.
How likely is it that the PhD woman will, I don't know, get a farmer or farmer is a bad.
But I know what you mean, like
you know,
like whatever, like some guy who just lives in the pub.
A plumber or something like that.
A peasant.
Yeah, a peasant basically. Yeah.
Well,
who has no education, who they have no similar interest. Like she likes the opera and likes to read and shit, and he likes to walk about and, you know, drinks with his mates or whatever.
But then if she's doing well, she's got a successful business, and then she's in her 50s, and there's this plumber dude who's in his 20s. Mama wants to get some.
Yeah, they will fuck.
And then but then it's her kids, I suppose. Yeah, okay, that's different. It's the long era. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you remember that film WALL-E?
Mm-hmm.
With, like,
I was about to say that.
Right?
Of course.
And then we all end up like just these guys, and machines are looking after us so much as well now.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the point is good. I'm just saying that that's one theory.
That's a theory, exactly.
Yeah.
There might be this split, this divergence. It's an interesting one, but I don't really see it happening because I don't see smoke. I don't notice it.
I actually see it is quite like.
You see it?
Yeah, a possibility, because when you're at some point of intellectual level, you don't go that much lower, because what are you gonna talk about? What are you gonna?
You're gonna have to go out of your social circles or even your workplace or anything to find
out of your social circle. You can go, because you can find. I don't know.
Yeah, but
if you're an intelligent artist, you can find an intelligent scientist. Totally two different groups. You can meet. You can have like,
in that sense, of course, yeah. But it's kind of like still like you can group them into like how well are they living, or like this hierarchy of like.
Okay, but for example, here in Estonia,
but like a peasant is like so far, she has to go and find him somewhere, you know.
Yeah, but a scientist here in Estonia isn't that well off as a PhD woman who has her own 10 businesses and doing whatever. Like, they're way in different social circles. Like, she is going on trips and shit, and he's doing his science only and living in his laboratory or
But they
whatever.
can still eat in the same restaurant and
no,
like,
probably
be,
not.
Like,
probably
in
not.
the same place.
But then you meet a lot of businessmen or business people who are like super smart, but the reason not super smart, opposite, super successful.
Yeah.
But not smart. And the reason they're successful is probably because they're sociopaths and they're just happy to stab people in the back and be super successful.
But I don't think that they will be the higher percentage people. I think that they are
loads of kids.
Yeah, but I think that the successful businessman is like a successful plumber. Like, I see no difference. Like,
just
intellectually,
really
they're the same. Like, he's doing what he can. He's doing it really well. Yes, he earns more money, but intellectually, he's the same. He's not, he's not that different.
That's cool.
And he will find a woman or a man or whatever. They start a family. And their family is the same. They won't evolve because they have more money. They're not,
Yeah, it's just the conversations you have, the people you hang out with, your friends. You never know what might, because you meet some people who've like grown up with thick as pig shit parents who are like super smart kids, and you're like, whoa, how are those your parents? And sometimes it's just random as hell, man. But still, all of this, and it's all valid conversation. It doesn't mean that we're evolving, right? Evolving requires this survival of the fittest, but it's survival of everybody.
Evolving is a tricky
subject.
Yeah.
But
like, what do you mean evolving? Because have
improving as a species?
Yeah. Have you read ancient texts like from ancient Greek or something like that?
I don't read hieroglyphs, but like
no,
I've seen
like
documentaries
translations.
Yeah, I've not really read them, but yeah.
Like when
what do you mean?
Like whenever you read like ancient Sumerian or ancient Greek or something like that, then they've been translated into English usually because I don't read that many other languages than English, sorry. But whenever they're translated in English, they're the same thoughts. There's no like higher or lower mental capacity there. They're the same feelings, the same thoughts, the same problems, only that they're happening over there. Yeah, they didn't have the computers or whatever, but they had the same problems. They were thinking the same way, the thought process, and their ethics were the same. And our ethics are from that time. So we've not evolved ethically or philosophically from that time, because most of our philosophy comes from that time.
Yeah.
So are we evolving at all, or
it doesn't seem like it, right? Maybe that was when it started to end. Like, so I guess so if you look at basic philosophies, some other podcasts I was listening to, I wish I could remember what it was. I always remember the thoughts, but not who gave them to me. But this idea that like when mankind was like first around, it was like me versus them. And that's how people would think, and it was just like, it's about me and it's against them. And then people kind of evolved to be like, well, no, it's us against them. And if you get that us mentality, which I think most of us have now, a few of us probably don't still, but most of us have this idea that like, it's us against them. But it's still this pitching against each other. So the next step of evolution would just be us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that we can group together and be like socially coherent and be like, yeah, it's in everybody's interest if we just, stop driving cars, whatever it is. Which obviously we're not going to stop driving cars, because how do we get around? And if we all stop driving cars, doesn't mean everybody else is going to stop. And then we lose out because we didn't drive cars. And it's like, that's not fair. But we know kind of in the back of our minds that we shouldn't be doing this shit. Like, we all know it now. Unless you're
I don't think so. I don't think that we all know. Because I think if we all knew, we all stop doing that.
No, we all know. Like, we all still smoke cigarettes from time to time. We know that's not a good thing to do.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, we all know that when we would act in an incoherent species, then everything would be better.
Yeah, if we're coherent together, yeah.
But I think that most of us don't know that. And there are some people who are coming around to this idea, but I think most of us are like, no, I don't know, if you're Russian, you hate the Germans. If you're Germans, then you hate, I don't know, maybe everybody else, I don't know. If you're in the States, then you hate the Russians, and I don't know, if you're in Africa, if you're in Africa, then you hate the, I don't know, English, French, Portuguese, Spanish, whatever.
There's plenty of hatred around.
Anyway, you get the point. But there isn't like many people who are thinking, yeah, but they're human beings, you're a human being, maybe we should all like work together and build an economy throughout the world. And maybe we do, I don't know, in Africa, I don't know. Yeah, we have like, okay, for example, we have diamonds. Yeah, okay, you like diamonds, okay, we can give you diamonds, but you should give us that. Then like sort of world communism.
Yeah, because there's no profit in that, right? There's no profit in that.
Yeah.
So you've got to, people.
And there are like tens and tens of scientists who actually, we touched on this on some podcast. I can't remember which one.
We did.
Yeah, there are like 10 or 20 years ago. There are already loads of scientists, like top of their line, top of the work field. They're like, yeah, if we all worked as a race, not as a country or as a continent, we could lose fossil fuels, we could lose hunger, poverty, whatever. Nobody would have to work, basically, if they didn't want to. We could have everything. But because we have these countries, everybody has to have like everything. We have to have the single market, and then we have to use the global market to get shit into our single market, then that makes shit complicated.
But it's really hard to get people to work together like this. Like there's this prejudice, like religion and history, that's gonna always be in the way of this.
I think history and religion are
the main, And what brings people together, like a common goal or a
common threat.
Exactly.
Like environmentalism's gradually bringing people together because people are seeing
but
the ice cap's melting. They're not feeling it yet, but people are realizing when they start feeling the sting, well, then it's too late. But like that will really start bringing people together, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
It's probably foolishly optimistic.
It's too bad. It's like it's not always on people's minds when they're like dealing with these issues or anything that they do, that they can't just go out and like see it with their eye, you know. Like people, when they see something, then they believe. You always have to kind of like, oh yeah, it's really hot there, and it's really cold there, and all these things make it together as a global warming, or you know, those things. And you kind of have to do like a, so to speak, a calculation for it.
Yeah.
You don't see it every day, and so it kind of like goes to the back of your head, and you don't really like think about it as much as people should.
Yeah, that's why like Fitbits, for example, are so good, right? Because people see like every day a little number.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, every day you see this number, but we got people just they don't feel the sting of it until it's. I'm the same, man. I'm still driving around and flying in planes and doing all the bad things.
Yeah. Exactly. Same for me. I absolutely know all like that. It's like a real threat to the world and everything. And I also don't. I'm not such conscious, so to speak, environmentalist. As in, like I don't do the things I should do, like starting with the garbage, or like not driving a fuel-based car, or you know, all those things.
Yeah, but okay, you've been around, like I don't mean in Estonia, but you've been around the world. And,
a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that here in Estonia they don't understand that we've actually got things pretty figured out. Like I mean, like environmentally, how we kill our meat, how we get our eggs, milk, wheat, whatever. It's pretty whole. Like if every other country would do it as we do, we would be in much less trouble, because everybody's we have to save the water. Okay, we have abundance of clear water. That's not a problem for us. And here in Estonia, we have to save water. No, actually, we don't. Like we're cool. We're cool. Finland's cool. We're cool. Canada's cool. Russia's pretty much figured out with water.
We can magically transport it to Africa or anything.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm saving a cup of water here and then people in Africa are getting the water. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
What I meant was just the CO2 emissions and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
so that's still going.
Exactly.
On. I mean, it's really, really small from Estonia, of course, but
that's my point.
You gotta.
We don't have to feel guilty that we're driving cars.
Of course,
because the problem isn't us individually driving cars.
But the thing is that everybody should be doing it in the
meat,
world.
For example, that's another massive one, right? Meat for the CO2 emissions is huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then we don't stop because meat's good.
Yeah, but here in Estonia, it's not that bad. But in the bigger countries, like in China, the US, Brazil, like there's the problem, because there the farms are way out of proportion, and there's why it's bad, why eating meat is bad, and why it's ruining our environment and things. It's not our little countries in Europe who are to blame for this.
Yeah, no, that's true. But then it's that us against them, who's to blame? But we kind of all need to change responsibility, like the Paris Accords that were going to happen until the US pulled out.
It's the way of thinking that everybody should have. And, it's good that we're talking about it, and when everybody is talking about it, then thoughts can begin to change and everything. But I think that here in Estonia, people are like, we're going to save the world. Like, we're one plastic bag at a time. Yeah, we are. But, that's not the real issue here, is it?
Yeah. But it's a step in the right direction. Yeah. It's people trying at least to do little bits of good. Because otherwise, what else are we going to do? We're just going to end up, I don't know. But then the overpopulation as well. Yeah. That's a massive part of it, right? Because that's when you start to feel the limited resources, right? If it was just 2 billion as it would have been before that Fitz Harbour thing, you wouldn't feel the limited resources as much. There wouldn't be as many water issues. There wouldn't be as many food issues. Like, there'd be more space for everybody.
Exactly. I was just about to say that real estate prices would be way, way more down.
Oh, yeah.
Because there would be more space.
Yeah. It would make a huge difference. But you got these massive populations.
There won't be so much of this famine or underdeveloped countries as much as there are right now. Because the overpopulation just helps this along so much. Because the resources are being used up, and it just creates more problems.
Just multiplies the issues. Yeah. If you've got some issue like a plague breaks out, you need medicine or whatever it is, it multiplies the issues massively.
David Attenborough actually said exactly.
He's a legend.
Yes.
He's so good. He could say anything and everybody would be like, that's right. That's the truth.
You pretty much said that as just now. That's why I was reminded of this. That the level of human population on the planet multiplies all environmental problems.
Right. Just makes everything happen faster.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. Like the population growth is just so fast, and I don't even know what to make of that. I mean, is that connected to evolution? Probably not so much, but maybe it is. Like,
I think it's
happening because none of us are dying of natural causes as much as we used to be. So you're not seeing any of these natural traits, which were issues, being ironed out, whatever they would be. Like
74 million people every year that are new.
Is it 74 every year, or is it 74 and then that grows as well? So it's like 85 and then...
No, I think it's growing, because the thing is that, like I said before, with the Industrial Revolution is where the sort of the population growth happened everywhere. It started like in the UK.
But it grows exponentially, right?
Yes, and it started to get really good because people weren't dying and getting better food, better medicine.
Which is good.
Yes, but actually... Eventually, what happened was that people were starting to have fewer kids, and so the population growth like kind of started to like
plateau.
Like started to go not growing but just like staying in the normal levels basically. But that's the same thing that happens in all developing countries actually now.
But it's naturally happening.
Yes, and with our help actually.
The growth is beginning to come in the third world nations. Previously, where it was in the old nations and in America and
the growth's just starting up. You mean? In the developing nations.
Yes,
okay.
It's because of with our help we helped them along with all the development issues. So for us, it took like 70 or 80 years. To get to the level of like getting good medicine, food, and everything, so that we don't need so many people around, everything like that. So all the other countries, like for example,
India.
India's booming.
The example I found was Bangladesh, which was that in 1971, for example, a woman would have 7 kids, and out of them 25% would die before the age of 5, and in 2015 the mortality was down to 3.8%, and women had 2.2 kids.
Oh wow!
So it's like in 20 years pretty much, or
the social behavior changed.
Years, yeah, it changed, and also the country became more developed, and basically the same thing happened, but in a much smaller time than what happened like for us.
There are reports that the growth actually will stagnate at some point, because we are helping everybody else along, and thanks to social media and everything else, we're all starting to live life the same way. Like you can be in India and Africa and Southern America, whatever, and then you're still looking to live the life as they do in the States or in the UK or in Europe, and they're watching the same shows, they're going through the same books, everything. Religion has less and less meaning, and everybody wants to live the same life. Mm-hmm. So everybody wants to have the same kids, the same family model, everything. But we don't know, because But
the population is growing rapidly, right? That's everyone.
Right now.
When you read all the scaremongering
it's still growing.
Stuff,
Absolutely.
They're going to be at 9 billion in like a couple of years' time, and it's just going to get faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, but there are many scientists who are saying that
it's going to plateau.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
They're saying that it will be at 12 billion.
That it won't reach 12 billion.
Yeah.
But that's almost double. What are we now? We're 7 now, right?
Yeah.
So 12 billion.
Close to 8.
So 12 billion, it plateaus because everyone starts killing each other and then runs out of resources, or it plateaus because people think clearly.
Yeah, the second one.
But there's
12 billion. Could you imagine if there's twice as many people? There's
no,
already
that's the cap.
Yeah.
That's the cap.
That's what the Earth can survive, man. It can't even
We
survive.
don't know.
We don't know.
We're already.
Let's find out.
We're already using 1.5 Earth's worth of resources.
Yeah.
So that's already like
We're already fucking
this
up.
is already fucked up. Yeah.
So we need to drop. What is that? What's the maths on that? There's 7 of us now. 1.5. So we need to be like 4 billion. Is like a cool number.
Yeah, but actually the one you said before, the 2 was the most popular one. That the 2 billion is the perfect like kind of number of people. But
there's plentiful resources.
It's interesting because I looked. I watched the video, which was from 2016, which said exactly the same thing that Hannes is saying, that the population growth is gonna kind of like go up until all the developing countries like get to the point of like
are on the same level that we are
on
right
the same
now.
level, yes, like we are, and that it's gonna kind of get settled down and just be just like normal. But at the same time, the Wikipedia page for overpopulation is like fucking huge.
Yeah, of course it is.
So I read through. So I read through that, and that actually
you read through it all.
Almost, but it also mentioned this, that some people thought that it's gonna be like this, but at the same time, I think it's only 2 years. Like I'm pretty sure they updated quite often there. So it's been like 2 years since the video, and they said that yes, but now actually the opposite signs are coming in still. That the places that had the population growth and went down, they are now making a J shape, where they're going like again up.
So like Japan, for example, right? Japan was like it's one of
Japan was where there was like a lot of population. Now it's really really low, but they're still going up. Yeah, but the example was
it's dropping, isn't it? Japan.
Is it still
I've
dropping
read a
right
statistic
now?
that they were selling more adult nappies than children's nappies in Japan, which is crazy. Like it's got a massive aging population, right? Because you've got people living longer. So whereas before they would have died at like 60, they're living to like 80, 90, whatever. They're just living for ages. Meanwhile, you've got like these kind of failure to launches. You've got a growing female population that's getting more into the workforce. Meanwhile, the male population, there seems to be this cultural fear or anxiety about actually kind of even getting involved with life. So you hear about a lot of shut-ins and people not having kids. So you have this kind of upside down triangle of this aging population, which has really damaged their economy, right? Absolutely. So any country that decides like, oh, we should kind of hold off on our population is economic kind of suicide for that country. Like, why is China doing so well? Why is India doing so well? They've got an amazing workforce, and they keep multiplying that workforce, and they keep achieving amazing things. It's not a great quality of life, but it's great for the rich in their countries.
I don't think that they will be able to keep it.
No, it's impossible. How do you? I mean, even look at the problems in China. These mega cities, these huge cities, and the pollution problems, and all the things that are going along with that, and the resource problems. It just doesn't.
No, I mean, like on the basic level, that thanks to social media, the internet, and everything else, people are more aware what they could achieve, and you're not in a box or you don't have the information like 50 or 60 years ago, you were living in a factory, doing the factory work, and I'm living life to the fullest. This is how my father raised me to be. This is how I'll raise my son or daughter to be.
In China, it's quite limited still.
Yeah, in China, but it is still, they have their other...
In India, maybe. Yeah. I'm pretty sure India is
in China,
pretty open.
Like there's that artist, what's it? Ai Weiwei. Have you heard of that guy? No, he's worth Googling afterwards. Yeah. He did this amazing kind of art piece in the Tate Modern in the UK, which is like the modern art one. And they got the amazing huge hall in like the ground floor, which is called the Turbine Hall, because there's this massive turbine on the top. Anyway, he had all these little seeds basically, which were kind of little ceramic. I think they were supposed to be sunflower seeds or something, and they're each handmade by somebody who was like showing their rebellion against this whole idea that they're just cogs in the machine. And when you see the numbers of them, supposedly each one was like made as kind of this little rebellion. It's just so many of them. And this guy's always being arrested by like the governments and whatever, and always getting in trouble. But you're seeing, like what you're saying, like this uprising, this demand for more within people. And he seems to be like a spokesperson for that. And like artists are always like, they speak for the people they represent, right? And this guy's doing an amazing job at that.
He's not doing anything, he's just representing the idea or what he is seeing.
But isn't that the most dangerous form of art? Right?
That's what
politicians are most scared of.
That's what I've always said, that artists ain't creating anything new. They're just reproducing what they are seeing, hearing, or knowing, what they've learned from, I don't know, somewhere else. And they're just reproducing the knowledge in a pleasant way for in
a provoking way.
Yeah, exactly.
Time.
And
Well, in China, it's quite risky. I can imagine.
Yeah, he got in all sorts of trouble. It was check him out. Ai Weiwei was his name, and there's some good documentaries. Like he spent a long time in a.
But that's what I'm saying. That thanks to internet and the world being open now,
right.
People are more aware of their options, and they know that I don't have to work from 6 to 8 in a factory to earn less than minimum wage anywhere else in the world. I could start a profession, whatever. And I could do it, in Bali or in Africa or whatever. Just get a laptop and start a business.
I mean, we can do that, right? We've got enough education, resources, support networks. But I think we're not in the majority of the global population.
I think that this is growing. I think this is growing.
Okay.
I think that the new generation is actually a good example of this, because they are like, no, I don't want to work in the office. I don't want to earn shitty wage. I will not earn anything. I will find a job that I like. I will give my heart to that job. I will do anything I can, but I want to do that job, and I want to earn as much as I can because I want to have a stable life. I want to, go travel, eat and shit.
Yeah.
And, that's what everybody is seeing, that, this is possible for anyone who is actually in it mentally. Like, I will get up, I will work for my goals, I will do it. Like, there are many people who have made a living out of being motivational speakers for these people. And that must come from somewhere. They can't make their money if there isn't someone listening to it. And if they're listening to it, there has to be a reason for that. Because they want that information. That's why newspapers used to work, because people wanted that kind of news. They bought the newspaper. Now there are motivational speakers who are saying, you can do it, you can achieve these things, get your ass out of bed, stop, eating bread, get your fat ass out of the fucking couch and take a hobby or work at something. And people are like, shit, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's
gradually disseminating to everybody.
And we're seeing this change in 5 or 10 years, which in human terms, where in history have you seen that in 10 years people have shifted their thinking that dramatically?
Yeah, things happening fast.
Never. But 10 years is like lightning quick.
But it's this whole digital revolution, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There was the industrial revolution, and then there's the digital revolution.
And we're in it right now.
Yes. Right at the beginning of it. Yeah. I think you mentioned earlier, the idea that the scientists were saying, we could all be looked after and never really have to work a day because technology will gradually bring that around, potentially.
No, they're saying that we could have this today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
technology.
We're still working.
Technology is there.
The technology is
there. Shitty version of it, probably.
No.
Everything is kind of shitty.
No. The problem is that right now, to achieve this, the technology is expensive because we have these toll taxes, we have these manufacturing problems, workforce problems. But if we eliminate all that, we could achieve this. The knowledge is there, the technology theoretically is there, but we can't make it because it would be so expensive. But if everybody worked towards the problem, then we could achieve it.
Okay, so
the expenses would be.
What do you mean you're not gonna have to do anything like lie in bed and not do anything?
You can walk around, read, do sports, whatever activities you like.
You do what you choose to do, but you don't have to do anything because
you don't have to do manual labor, what you don't like.
To do the farming, to do the basics.
You mean that all the everything will be done by machines, or
no?
What do you mean?
The point is that there are so many of us that mathematically there are 50 million people who want to work as sales representatives. There are 10 million farmers who would gladly farm. There are
you mean that we are overproducing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just the inefficiency.
Yeah.
So the people who wanted to do the things that they want to do.
Yeah, but they're not able to do the things that they want to do. And if everybody did the things that they wanted to do, there would be no problems. But people are born into the wrong situation. And
that's what all the youth are now following. It's like this, what's it called? Neo-Marxism or post-Marxism kind of. Because it's that actually.
It's not post-Marxism.
Neo-Marxism then.
Probably
closer to that than capitalism.
It's like that. It's
the next level of socialism, whatever.
Yeah. It's complicated and hard to achieve. But if you push it hard enough and find the right ways, anything is possible.
Joe Rogan and who was the guy we mentioned in the last podcast?
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, they talked about
talked about this exactly
as well, and they also said that capitalism is shit. Communism was actually as an idea was great. But it will
everybody
never,
thought that.
Yeah,
everybody
but it will never work in real life.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
Because people are envious. People are sometimes shitty.
There can never be equality in that sense. Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Advertisement.
Are you feeling a bit of a shiver in your tea bag? Is your bishop looking like the Pope? Don't get your knickers in a horse's mouth. Fear not. Brexit exit is almost here. Order now and you can save all the money you have not earned nor spent yet. Ask more from your local MP or PM. I don't know how the shit works. Who does?
Yeah, so capitalism is a broken system, but it's the best system we're using at the moment.
Oh,
but then
Churchill, drop in some Churchill.
Is that Churchill who said that?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm really scared of that idea. But it's this idea that, what is a better system? Because, so capitalism kind of is based on risk and reward, and everyone's just trying to get the biggest reward with the minimum amount of risk.
Mm-hmm. It's brought the most progress. I mean, that's what it brings.
Yeah. But it's worked relatively well from an innovation perspective for a long time, and the world is now the best time to be alive is now. I don't think many places would disagree with that. Some, but most of us, I think, are leading the coolest lives we could. Compared to 100 years ago, compared to whatever, it's great.
I think that depends where you are, where into you were born.
It's a sweeping statement for sure, but I think a lot of people would agree with that. I really do, compared to the majority of the population, the way who knows? That's my feeling on it. But where was I going to go with this? Oh, right, yeah, this risk-reward idea. And that used to be investors, the reflection of capital markets, the way investors act, right?
Yeah.
They're always what are we going to invest in? Well, what's got the lowest risk and the highest return? It's that balance. But there seems to be this new kind of axis in that thought pattern, which is the social impact of their investments. And to the point now where investors are really asking about this. So you've got this third thing.
Really? I haven't heard about that.
It's huge. So if you type in ESG, which is, I think, environmental, social, and governmental or something. But it's the basic ESG investments are all about investments which meet certain criteria in terms of being good for the world. So there's no gambling, no tobacco, no alcohol, no guns, things like that. And these have been around, no alcohol, no tobacco, no guns and shit, have been around for a long time. But the ESG is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and people are demanding more from their investments. And you can invest in anything from, the investment world is crazy, right? So there's something like 40,000 listed stocks on all the exchanges of the world. Mm-hmm. It's a bit more than that, but something like that. And there's 1 million plus indices, which are collections of things. So you've got the FTSE 100 index and stuff like that. Okay. So of these 40,000, they've worked out 1 million different ways to group them together in different bits.
Really?
And then you're buying products on these indices, which we were talking about earlier, which is exchange traded funds. You're what was I?
Yeah.
It's boring, but this is the interesting bit of it. So the exchange traded funds are collections of this. So rather than you having to invest in 20 companies that you you rely on somebody else to choose companies based on certain criteria, and then you just invest in that one thing and trust them. And so you're seeing this massive demand from people for an impact of what they're investing. They realize they have a responsibility to invest. And I think, did you guys, either of you guys, give money to charity last year?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I think most of us have. You'll probably all think that we didn't give enough, right? And
no.
You felt like you gave enough?
Yeah.
Good for you, man. I definitely didn't.
No,
but
there's these ads outside, so I tried
regarding my income and what I gave out.
No,
I think
it's the nut maths on it.
Yeah.
It's the social conscience.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really nice that you can live up to that. And I think we should all. I think we all try to. Greed comes in, but that's. I feel like there's this changing shift, and if that's what Wall Street and all these investing ones are showing, that where all the money is pouring into, people are asking for that. Pensions have to be more aware of that. And there's one index, I forget what it's called, but one of the banks has ticker, which is the label for the thing you invest in, was .L, the French word for she, and it was an index which only tracked companies that had like a positive number of females in their like executive positions, and there was a pay equality, and they had to meet all these criteria. So if that's something you're really interested in as a feminist, as somebody who just believes in equality, you can invest in that and know that you're not going to invest in any companies which are just like white old men running and just kind of capitalizing the world, which is really interesting to a lot of people. They would rather take more risk with less reward, knowing that that third dynamic was going to have an
that
effect.
will fuck up actually the companies, because they're thinking about these indexes.
Okay.
And then they will like,
If you take anything to extremes, it has issues. Absolutely. Oh, and that's the same with capitalism and communism, right? You take it to extremes. But isn't it a nice idea that people are actually taking that into account?
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Every reaction has a consequence.
Has a consequence when you follow through. And it's all about the golden middle ground. What was that? Wasn't that old thought from, is it Socrates?
Yeah, I think, or Aristotle.
Aristotle, I don't know. I'd have to ask B.
Either.
She's always telling me about it.
Either or.
But that's in moderation. All things are good.
It's also that so many tools are given to us nowadays. It's with this info age, I would say as well.
Yeah, the knowledge in these devices.
I mean, how did I know everything about this? You know, it's just like I didn't pick up a book. I just Googled it. You know.
So the hippocampus, the memory part of the brain, like is shrinking. Like they're looking at MRIs, and I don't know if this is evolution or just a muscle that's not being used, right?
Rather, yeah.
Yeah, it's more that, but like because it's happened so quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
But through like they're looking at MRI scans of people.
Because the MRI scans are quite recent.
Yeah, exactly. That's not showing evolution since 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, little data.
But in recent history, I need to look it up. But in recent history, basically, the hippocampus is it's less than that. This is like the internet age.
Oh, okay.
It's showing the impact of the internet. We're talking millennials. We're talking people who like turned 18 before the millennium, basically. Sorry, after the millennium.
Yeah.
That's not
after.
You see, can't remember shit. But it's crazy to think that the hippocampus shrinks, like because we're just not using it. We're not remembering stuff. We're now, what part of our brain are we using more? Are we in fact, following logic patterns and thinking more critically than we ever have before, instead of having to remember stuff and put that effort in? But like they've done MRI scans on like. This is like a famous statistic as well, which is like taxi drivers in the UK. Like
they have the biggest memory.
They have to do the knowledge, which is like an intense course where you have to learn every road, one direction, and it's like that. People, everyone says like this is a feat of like stuff. And when you meet taxi drivers, you always be like impressed because you're saying like, well, these dumb guys who spend time in pubs, like they're never gonna hook up. But these guys anyone's capable of anything, right? These guys can remember so much, but they do MRI scans. Who like at the beginning and the end of the knowledge, and they just see the hippocampus just swell.
Yeah, it's like a muscle.
It's a muscle.
And actually, people who are really good at remembering things, like the people who remember 17 pages of the 10th of the pie or something like that,
Right, that's crazy.
These people, and they say that at the beginning I was a normal human being, and I started to train the muscle, and I followed these and these and these steps, and that's how I got here. And you could do it. Anyone could do it. And that's like Wim Hof, the man who... Wim Hof is like the dude who walked to the top of the Himalaya in his shorts and boots, nothing else. Like he can control his body temperature, and he stayed in an ice box at Times Square in 12 hours or I don't know, really, really long. And he does these courses for people who want to... control their body heat and to...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he can... So that's... does he have like a big hypothalamus?
I don't know the...
Because that's like the...
I don't know the medicine.
So the hypothalamus is the bit of your brain which like controls your temperature and like weird stuff like your desire to have kids and like weird...
He can control...
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I was reading like, it's like, what the fuck?
How
is this such a powerful thing?
Yes.
We're not even in control of it.
Yeah.
But he apparently is. And he did this course for 12 disciples, which were called, Wim Hof's disciples.
Wow.
And they were David Hasselhoff's disciples.
Yeah. They were researched by doctors actually, and they were like, this is legit. This is no trick. This is pure science.
If it was a trick, you would have died on the Himalayas.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was this. I think it was Vice. Yeah. I think it was Vice documentary where this reporter actually went through the Wim Hof training, and in the end. He walked on top of a Polish mountain, which is not that high, but you know, still it was 1 week only. So he walked barefoot and in his shorts with a backpack on. He walked on top of the mountain after completing the Wim Hof training procedure. Maybe it was 2 weeks,
Wow,
1 week or something
crazy.
like that. But
he was able to just
but it was through breathing exercises, mental. I don't know what's the word actually. Minnestone in English. Like he was locked
discipline?
in, man. Yes, discipline. Yeah, maybe discipline. Yeah.
Discipline.
And he's able to teach it. And actually, it's the same with the memory. Like if you start training your brain, like I'm doing this with Sudoku. Actually, I'm.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
All kinds of crossword puzzles
I'm,
or any
I'm,
puzzles actually help
solving
with this.
Sudoku puzzles every day.
Nice.
At the beginning, I started in the easy, like the setting or something like that, and my average time was about 10 minutes per Sudoku. At one point, I was at 2 minutes because I couldn't move my fingers fast enough to solve the thing. So I went to a medium. I got to 3 and 10 minutes or something like that. Then I went to hard. I got to 3 minutes, and it's like.
So the limitation is
Yeah.
dexterity, not your
Exactly.
mind.
Yeah.
So maybe this whole thing that I was worried about, like the end of human evolution, that's a naive question. And actually, we've got plenty to evolve just within ourselves.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We're just going to take control of what we're doing.
It's like that's what I was wanted to go is like meditation, yoga, breathing, food, exercise, everything that it's really coming true, and everybody is like before everybody was like thinking this is just some Eastern European, Eastern Asian like shit, like
Eastern,
everybody
yeah.
is like
Yeah, it was like
voodoo shit.
Yeah,
like,
it was gurus.
Yeah,
and-
it's like it's all shit, and now people are like I've tried it, it works, it's great.
It's valid. Yeah.
Yeah, and more and more people are coming through it, and I think that's the next step in human evolution.
It's just knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's great, and we've got a place to store it now with the internet.
And
to share it.
Yeah, and knowledge in ourselves, not what we can do out there.
And here's the best part. It's what I love the most, as I've said many times before. It's where science meets this spiritual world. They always should meet, because that's how, like intelligent people that don't believe in this, or rational, more like they don't believe in this stuff. So when you put like science together with it, like show that hey, here's how the hippocampus like grows with or the what's the other thing, the
I've forgotten, which is really ironic. Hippocampus.
hippocampus.
That is ironic.
They increase in size with the training and everything. You show the impact of this, and then it's like, oh, okay, fine, this is amazing.
I feel so much
because
happier.
if you have,
I was really worried about you're right, yeah. We can just, it's through thought, man. It's through thought.
people have gone through so much horrible things throughout, history, that I have enough faith in humankind that we are better than that. We're gonna transcend any kind of like this shit,
But I'm afraid that will. The point is, it's a race. I think, like between
smart and
We
dumb.
think before we wipe ourselves out.
yeah, it's between greed and actually the need to better ourselves. Like, which part will
Should we
eventually
focus on?
prevail?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is it the humanity's greed, or is it humanity's need to
Yeah.
grow and
This is
better
good for
ourselves?
humankind, but this brings us more profits. So let's take the profits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
and
that.
I think it's a race, and I think I think it's the main part why we started this podcast, is to discuss these things and to put these ideas out there for more people to listen to, and I think that's what we need to do. Like every one of us, every single one of us is like, am I doing the best I can? Am I the best person I can be? Of course we do dumb things. Of course we go to parties and we drink alcohol and we watch Netflix instead of reading books or bettering ourselves. But that's the human experience, I think. But again, there's the middle ground. Like one day, yeah, of course you can lay back, like be hungover, do whatever, eat shit, and but you can do it when you do other shit as well, like eat sometimes healthy and read a book or meditate or do yoga or exercise or give yourself into a hobby, like be like immersed in some one thing, like bettering yourself at that point, like never being content with who you are right now and always trying to go further and further. But
True that.
But if everybody's like, yeah, I have to earn more money, I don't know, get myself a bigger house, better car or something like that, these goals will never evolve us to anywhere. Like these are
you'll
the
always
things.
be chasing them because there will never be enough.
Yeah,
And
of
that's
course.
another addiction, like alcoholism or anything else. Like you start chasing
I
something.
think that's
which
even
is-
worse because outwards it looks better. Like
Yeah,
I'm earning more money.
It's more appealing.
Yeah, right. That's success.
Yeah.
That's what people call success.
Yeah.
At university, it's success if you drink more than anybody else, but that stops. straight away. Then it's like about the money.
Yeah, and afterwards, I bought a new house. Wow, cool, that's awesome. 2 years later, I bought a second house. Wow, that's more awesome. 10 years later, you have 5 houses. What are you exactly doing with 5 houses? Like,
It always
That-
comes.
Thankfully, all the youth nowadays are getting away from all the materialistic like ideas.
not all of them.
Not all of them, of course, yes.
All of the what,
but
Youth.
youth, yeah, are getting away from it. Well, a lot more than like what we were brought up with.
Of course.
Because all
That's
our,
within your bubble, though, within the people that you.
yeah, absolutely. It's from my perspective.
It's
yes.
like I think it comes from experience. Like, so, bit of a story.
yeah, of course.
In Uganda, there was Idi Amin. You may have heard of. Really bad guy. Last King of Scotland was that film about this, just an evil president who just.
I always wanted to watch that movie.
It's a good film, but it was based on a horrible guy, and he just was the president and just ran the place. Just with evil, like there's a lot of racism, a lot of control, a lot of tribalism, a lot of all sorts of stuff. But he went through this phase where basically he, in a similar way to, I say similar, in a slightly comparable way to the way Hitler persecuted the Jews. This guy persecuted the Indian population, so there's a lot of what you would call Mahindis when you're living there, which is people who came across the Indian Ocean and settled and had families and successful businesses. But he was like, why have these guys got all the money? We should kick them out and we can be in control of our own country, right? So that's where the similar. Anyway, so in 1980s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, he basically kicks out all the Mahindi population. These guys chased from their families and their homes and all that stuff. They were allowed to take the possessions they could carry and all their wealth taken away, basically, and they all ended up with like $1 each, basically, and they were gone. A lot of them went to Canada. Canada's always had that amazing immigration policy.
Oh.
But then things got better in Uganda. You know, a lot of cycles in Africa. You see like these kind of political cycles where things get better and worse and better and worse. And anyway, things got better, and a lot of the brave ones decided to come back. They were like, these was their roots. They could remember it from when they were young. They wanted to go home. They wanted to take back the things that, not take back, but, you know, get back to where they had been. Yeah, go home, and you can understand that. A lot of people have got an affinity for a place. And these people I've seen who are older than me, you know, you're talking 20, 30 years older than me, they came back with one thought in their mind, which was to re-establish the wealth that their family had had. And these guys were driven by wealth, and a lot of them have succeeded in getting that wealth back. And, you know, I see a lot of unhappiness in these guys. Successful, very rich, they've been driven by this money, but they've missed out on a lot of family and self-reflection and a lot of joy. These guys pushed it really hard, they partied hard, and they kind of burnt out. And I've yet to meet somebody who's absurdly wealthy. Well, not absurdly wealthy, but, you know, millionaires, like, to the point where they could just switch off and retire. Not that these kind of people never can. But I've yet to meet someone like that who seems anywhere near happy. Like, they just always seem miserable. A lot of them are on, like, beta blockers. A lot of them are on, like, whatever it is. And it's just because their whole philosophy, for good reason, has been around making money and getting that back. And you can see why any of us in that position would hopefully be brave enough to try and do the same. You know, maybe I wouldn't be brave enough to try and do that, but I'd like to think I would be. But that's not a good thing. And so, how do you even begin to kind of start saying to a person like that, well, actually, no, you know, you just need the one flat. You just need to.
That's the point. That's the point of history.
What?
History. That's the point of history.
Point of history. Oh, to learn from the past.
Yes.
But that's the point of history. Like right now here in Estonia, like before we were occupied, and the mentality of the people who were raised in the Soviet Union is like we should gather all the things because we don't know, maybe a year we're not
that's
able
what I
to have these
meant by
things.
materialistic.
Yeah, and right now they're gathering and hoarding things, and they're like, yeah, I should have this and that, and maybe in a year or two I won't be able. But right now, thanks to open markets and everything, you can go to the market at 3 a.m. and you can buy your sausage, fucking potatoes, whatever. And there's no problem. You don't need to hoard. You don't need to have more than you need.
Yeah.
But they have this mentality that I want to hoard. I want to have everything I can because
you can never have enough. If that's your mentality.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the problem. But that's the problem of history. We don't have the problem of religion. We have the problem of history. And that, here in Africa, they have the whole other point of colonization, religion, clash of religions, clash of tribes, clash of everything.
I mean, the left, the hangover from communism is just so terrible. Like, and it's not even deliberate. I mean, it was deliberate then, but now it's just the hangover is not deliberate.
Yeah.
People would love to make. I mean, for example, just like so, tribalism is a part of life, whether it be within countries or whether it be, Europe. There's tribalism. Luckily, the borders of Europe reflect that tribalism largely, and when they don't, you've got Czechoslovakia becoming the Czech Republic and Slovakia, right? And it's the tribalism naturally starts to reflect the borders. Whereas in Africa, you've got borders which just arbitrarily drawn by people who were deliberately trying to divide and conquer. The Romans did it, and the Brits and all the other colonists were like, how do we win? Well, we divide them, let them fight, and then pick up the pieces. And that was that's how the borders were deliberately laid out. And we wonder why there's still conflicts there and destabilization. And it's because of the political stage is set against them. It's like playing Risk in a bad way. That wasn't funny, but it was for us.
Yeah, it was for us. And if you can't laugh at it, then you don't realize it, then you don't know it, then you don't know the problem.
Exactly. That's the first step, right?
Yeah.
But how do you even begin to start solving these problems? It's a tricky one.
I think it's it's through individual persons. Like every person needs to understand that they're their whole person and they are the change in the world. I know that sounds fucking naive. I know it sounds like a Hallmark greeting card, but I don't care. This is my belief, and I really believe that every other person should believe that they can be the change in the world. They should start bettering themselves. And we all make mistakes. We can all fuck up. We can all take a day off, whatever. But I think that we should all, better ourselves. And through that, we will better our country, our nation, our tribe, our family, our friendship, our whatever. And that's how the world will get better. And there are
the change you want to see.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But and I think that there are many people who believe the same thing. Maybe just for words, but fake it till you make it. If you only chant the thing and you live by it, you don't believe it, but you do try it, then I think eventually it will work out, or it won't. But
one little thing on that.
Yeah.
This whole taking a day off. It's a good thing. I never take a day off living the change I want to see. I take a day off like doing the shit I'm supposed to be doing because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But you take a day off, a holiday.
That's what I mean.
To take a time to actually enjoy where you're at.
Yeah,
enjoy
that's
your
what
life.
I mean.
That's not taking a day off. That's
that's what I mean.
Living the change you want.
That's what I mean.
When do you actually ever take a day off? Like you always just
that's what
like,
the day off
joy.
is. What I mean is your life should be, every day should be like a day in a school. Like you're learning new shit, you're bettering yourself, and sometimes you need a break from that school. Sometimes you, as you said, you need to relax, you need to live the life you're trying to build.
Yeah, enjoy
like
the moment.
When you're building a company, you never, when you're making money, scarcely you have the opportunity to actually enjoy the money. But that's what you should do. Because at one point your company or your business, whatever, is earning that much money for you, so you could enjoy yourself. Like you could take a trip with your friends, your family, you could go enjoy yourselves, but rarely people do it.
Because the people who are driven to sacrifice what it takes to have a successful company, they're not driven because they want to take a day off. They're driven to make that more successful.
And that's the people you were talking about, the Hindi people. Yeah, that's the same thing.
It's I don't know. As you say, just got to keep trying.
Yeah.
Doing our own thing, which is cool.
Advertisement. You now have purchased our new lizard monkey. The lizard monkey spits in your face and you're transported into the future of your liking. Don't be afraid. It only lasts for 6 hours. But everything you see is from the future. And the memories are forever. Lizard monkey, spit in your face! Bisa dah sering banget. Yeah, it's a lizard monkey spits in your face, runs away, and you don't see him ever again. But your memories are forever.
But if anything, you can just take like a collective mind of the world, how we are evolving in the sense that everybody has access to like, well, basically the countries that have internet, or like it doesn't have to be at your home. In general way, that you want to learn something, you have the access to the internet and you can learn anything, you know. So that's the thing in the world right now, and it's like it has never been the thing. It's always been like your parents are telling you things.
Yeah.
At best, maybe you had school or something. Nowadays, it's insane actually.
Yeah.
People aren't using them.
Yeah.
People aren't using them.
Yeah, but still, some smart people. There's always been smart people in the world where they wanted to learn or study or whatever, and they maybe chased those opportunities, and it was super hard. But nowadays, they just go to their library, or you know, they can find it somewhere, and they can pursue it much easier than before. Like if you look at Einstein, how he traveled through Europe everywhere,
yeah,
and was chasing. He could have done everything from his home.
Yeah.
It's like
think about when Freud or Jung would have had like blog posts or something like that. How much easier it would have been for
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mine. Well, I suppose they do now. We have their blog post. Someone else has digested what they've thought and explained it in a way I can actually understand.
At the beginning, they were mocked, and they traveled to the States, and they had these symposiums where other psychologists came together, and all of that. I think, you know, at that point they would have a vlog. Hey, I'm I don't know, Jung, I'm here with my patient.
It's your boy Jung.
It's a boy Jung. Here with my patient. Take 2.
Shout out to my peeps.
Yeah. Shout out to my main man, Mr. Freud. Wouldn't be here without you. But, you know, my point is, these brilliant men or women who lived like 100 or 200 years ago, think of the advancements they would have made, perhaps, if they had these opportunities today. Maybe they wouldn't have done anything, because they would have just scrolled through cat pics and they would be content with that.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't be driven to do all those things.
It's such a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
We've got the world at our fingertips, and yet
maybe we have Einsteins and I don't know, Hawkings or whatever rolling around here right now, and they're just scrolling through cat memes because they're content as they are.
And we never know when we might find another like this type of people. Yeah. They might be in these developing countries where that need actually the push to develop all the education and reduce the famine.
But that's the thing, you always find that the people, like universities pick kids up from the third world countries, like who are really good at something. Like they pick them up and they put them in universities, they give them full scholarships and you know, give them money and everything, just learn, and they become really brilliant persons. But at some point there's this tipping point. Either they go and be brilliant in their field, or they start drinking and partying and everything, because they see the easy side of life and they get seduced by that.
Yes. And because their mind is still developing constantly, and they kind of are driven with this thirst for knowledge. And
suddenly they see,
shit,
there's college pussy all over.
We all have that battle, right?
Yeah, but they have it much worse, because we grow up in it. But
they ignore it all the time, and then suddenly they taste it, and it's like, oh my god, fuck, I've been missing out, and then just like ruin everything they've been working. The whole
idea, like you never drink until you get to college, where it's actually like some families be like, you have a beer with dinner when you're like a teenager, and it's just like learn to appreciate it, not to have
yes. Always balance, but if you, there are like people that go to universities when they are like, I don't know, 12 or 13, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's not a place you want to be when you're 12 or 13.
Yes.
It's gonna fuck you up.
And it's also
no matter
like
which way it goes.
Yeah, and your studying is like a highway in comparison to everyone on their horses in the village road.
I wonder what education is going to be there in the future. Like, the school's always 2 parts, which have been connected.
Because you did both
at the same time.
Virtual reality.
Well, this is it, right? Like,
Like the Ugandan knuckles.
Yes.
I will show you that
I
one.
really need to get in. I need to understand what the hell that was.
Yeah.
Show me
Nobody
that.
knows. Nobody knows. It's.
Oh man.
That was crazy, right?
And Osha's from South Africa.
It's just the internet. Nobody understands.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. But that's it.
Yeah.
So we can learn so much now through the internet. Like I'm pretty much self-taught in everything that I do professionally.
Exactly.
Now.
Same with me. I think it also from experience.
So schooling just kind of becomes how to socially interact, right?
Yeah, that's the
and
thing
actually
that
the
people
best
are gonna miss.
educator will probably still be a machine in so many ways, right? Like maybe it's somebody talking to you through a machine. Like imagine if you could watch a lecture from that favorite teacher you had, but that teacher was also, you liked the teacher for every subject that much. You just like, you could connect with them. It wasn't a teacher that was like, you didn't like them, they didn't like you, and you didn't really understand what they were saying. All the school then really becomes is like social interaction and how to learn to be with other people. Yeah. And so maybe homeschooling is going to go through the roof. I saw some headline, like I think today actually, where it was like, the homeschooling is like now not a fad and is actually becoming more mainstream. I don't know, I didn't read the article, but I was just like, it was kind of an interesting concept to me, which is like, well, yeah, all these parents that want to protect their kids from the outside world, they can actually do that quite effectively now. Like, you could properly teach somebody by using the resources the internet have you. The only thing you'll never learn is about talking to other people, which is arguably probably the hardest thing we ever learn.
Yeah, but
yes, exactly.
But
they're not going to be ready.
But the universities of old, you know what the main subjects were?
Philosophy, politics, and economics?
Exactly, and medicine.
And medicine.
Yeah. And I think we will get back to it. There was arts, which was mainly philosophy, but you know, depending on the school, politics, ethics, and you know, and I think we will get back to it.
But this whole idea that you've got to go to university and study,
yeah,
I mean, it suits some people. It just didn't suit me. Like I didn't finish uni. I was doing engineering halfway through, just quit to go and travel. And then I've learned everything I've done on the job by like, I need to be able to achieve this. It's time to learn it. And I think there's the university, like it's this idea that you have to go to university. I think actually it's largely being kind of dismayed and dispelled. People aren't like, how often do you go to a job interview where people are like, what's your degree? It's more like, what's your experience?
Yeah.
What can you produce?
Exactly.
What's your portfolio of work?
Yes. But I think that depends on the field.
Yeah, you don't want a doctor on YouTube. It's like, I'm your neurosurgeon. Let me just open up that tab.
Absolutely.
That's the hippocampus.
I found this great feed on Reddit, so I think I'm good.
Theory, and I can't tell if it's a troll or not. But it's the same guy that said the world was flat, but I'm pretty sure he's got this bit down.
But there was a good gif about how to cut open people.
It's
about
a second long.
It's about to loop again. Wait. Okay, now I got it.
Why do I have to do this so many times?
It's weird.
It's not good.
Yeah, but I think that we will rather go back to the old way of universities rather than the universities evolving further and further and further into their own like little fields, because I think that you two quite said it, that the most important thing from the university is actually the connections, how you interact with people who aren't from your social circle, and the new connections you make with professors and the other students. And you don't need to major in a random field that you're never going to use nowadays, because like 2 years later that field is useless because of new technology and the way the world developed in another way totally.
Yes, and people are going to look at the experience you have or the job that you apply, not your degree in arts or whatever.
You have to learning basically.
Yeah, that's it. Learning. That's the most important thing, is learning how to learn.
Yeah, it's like there is a person who comes out from the university should never say, no, I can't do that. They should always be, no, I can't do it yet, but I will get it in I don't know, whatever the task is.
But I guess the hardest part for people is why they have such degrees that they don't have anything to do with, is because they didn't know what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's the biggest
exactly
problem.
Why I started studying, because like
that's the biggest problem.
Parental pressure, go in, do this thing.
Yeah, you have to do it. Right?
You can be a failure in life.
You can.
It's the old mentality where they.
Yeah, but you can understand it from their perspective.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, of course.
It was only like
they
a
were
couple
brought
of years
out
ago, my mum finally came up and was like, okay, I kind of get why you're doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of clicked, but that was after a lot of like anger and like.
But that's good.
From both ways. Yeah, it's really nice. It's lovely that we resolved that. But
actually, if I think about it, same with me, because I haven't gone to university either, and my parents also were pushing it for a very long time, until I kind of sat them down and explained the situation to them. Like nowadays it's like this, especially in my field, and they were like, okay, and. Like I think I had to tell them like 2 more times maybe.
But also
they have
seeing
stopped.
You succeed in your job, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the main part.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
And you can't really explain it. You got to show it.
Exactly. And they haven't been bothering me with that anymore. So
yeah, and it's not that I'm not supportive. Like when I decided to quit, they were all like, yeah, that's your decision. Like we're not going to force you to do something.
That's also good. Yeah.
I was lucky. I'm not trying to complain.
It's never a good thing to make people feel bad about their decisions if they want to do whatever they want to do. Especially
we've got ourselves to feel bad about our decisions as well. Like that's the like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're feeling guilty enough about the shit you do.
Yeah, but you learn from the bad decisions. Like when you when you grow up, you do everything perfectly. You're bound to fail at some point, and then you're not prepared to fail.
The sooner you learn to fail, the better you are gonna do in future failings and learnings and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just gonna prepare you for all those things better.
Failing's good.
I was just checking the time.
Yeah.
I just had no idea how much is it.
Yeah, it's 1:15.
It feels a lot longer, right?
Yes. Less. I thought we talked much longer.
Yeah.
Just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
We're cutting this bit out, right?
Yeah.
No, of course. That stays in. That stays in.
The awkward silence.
Yeah.
But actually, like, you had a new commercial on the last bit, and you skipped through the words. Like you were like, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It was perfect. Like the part when you fucked up. It made the commercial more perfect.
Yes, I remember I listened to it and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta keep it in.
Yeah. Sometimes you know, it's a podcast. You can fuck up.
It's a happy accident like this. Yeah.
That's what makes things better. Like if everything's perfect, it's boring.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like how
musical performance or art or whatever. Like it's a little
super random example, but like how microwave was discovered.
How what?
Microwave.
How was it discovered?
Guy had I guess it's a story, but. A guy had like a sandwich in his pocket, and he walked by like in his like science whatever lab and the laser or something was like pointing at him, and the cheese melted in his pocket.
Wasn't it?
What was it?
Popcorn? A piece of corn.
This guy
a corn cobbler.
This guy must have died young.
It doesn't.
Like if he's walking around.
Yes, I was thinking.
He's not going to live long, man.
Let's just say it was. Let's just say it was cheese.
Testicular cancer.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was cheese, and it melted in his pocket, and he was like, "What
shit,
the fuck did I just discover?"
Cheese, with the. Shit. So you know who's the mayor of Tallinn?
No. You?
No.
Oh fuck, I don't know either.
Because we used to have like a mayor for 10 years or something like that. And now he had his leg cut off and shit, and he's had corruption charges against him.
It was a punishment for being a shit mayor. That's what happens in Estonia.
Wow.
No.
One thing to have like your little finger to the
he had a disease like meat-eating bacteria.
Yeah. Flesh-eating bacteria.
It's like gout thing.
Yeah, and it was in the midst of him having corruption charges against him, like large corruption charges.
Yeah, but he got free.
Yeah, because he wasn't able to perform in court.
He lost his leg.
Yeah, and he has bad health, and he's an old man.
What's the point in persecuting him?
Yeah, he's pretty much dead. Yeah, but if you see him, then you're like, okay. He's had his punishment.
Yeah, but people were saying all the karma things, whatever. Right?
Karma hit hard.
But, did you find the thing?
It did. Yeah, so the coolest thing about the way education's changed is that it's allowing us to chase what we really are passionate about in a way that we weren't before. Like you're saying, there's like pressures, like So you end up trying to do the course that you think you're supposed to do, but now it's like it does seem that people are being encouraged to actually follow what they really want to do, and it's not like parrot learning in schools now, because you're learning how to learn more than learning this is what you're supposed to remember this for your exam, it's more like this is how you need to think, now solve this problem. And like I think that's really nice, because it just opens up like a whole world of new education possibilities and routes for people, and hopefully that doesn't leave too many gaps. But there was this amazing TED talk. You can't have a podcast without a TED talk.
I love those actually.
There's this one by Sir Ken Robinson, and like it was this. Do you remember back when there's hand drawn like animations where it's like a doodle and a guy's doodling and like the animation like goes in the background while he's talking. Do you remember that was like big on the internet like 5 years ago? Can't believe that feels like so long ago. Anyway, and he's just basically talking about how people who are naturally creative and instinctively like creative people rather than kind of more logical or whatever, they're like instinctively like really wanting to be more creative or artists, whatever, they're completely failed by schooling as it was then in the UK. Like for a long time, UK schooling was great, but it's failing these people massively, which is why you have things like Steiner schools and whatever. But it's like a 10-minute TED talk, and this is just such a perfectly like succinct thing. So Ken Robinson was his name. And yeah, just check it out. It's an amazing TED talk, and just makes you think like, we really need to think about what we learn rather than just learn what we're told to learn. There's a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love the picture. I love the picture. There's like a drawing, like a caricature, where there's all the animals of the world pretty much. Not like all like giraffes and rhinoceroses and like anyone like.
A picture of Noah's Ark.
And but yeah, you could add that there. But there's like a tree, and there's like a teacher that says, "All right, climb up this tree," and it's just like monkeys are gonna go up the tree, and like some animals more. But then there's like I don't know, elephants or big animals that can't do it. So it was kind of a parallel to schooling, where it's expected from you to learn all these things where maybe you're not really built for this.
I think it's based on I think it's a famous Einstein quote. I can't say it was an Einstein quote because everybody says like, it was a quote by him, but you don't know if it was. But you can't, how was it? You can't objectify a fish by its ability to climb a tree.
I'm pretty sure this was in that TED talk as well.
Yeah, I think it was like that. Maybe I'm paraphrasing. Probably I'm paraphrasing.
I don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Absolutely.
Yes, and that's probably where the drawing was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking. That was
exactly.
Yeah, cool. So people, learn what you want, be what you can. Wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, man. Let's get deep with that. Live the change you
live the dream.
Change the world.
Jesus.
Come together.
I like
love one another.
I'm feeling way more optimistic about humanity now. When I came to this, and I was thinking, like the end of it, I really was like thinking, we are fucked as a species. But you're right. We've got the capability to achieve, actually make this work. We just need to take the time to think about it.
If you think about it, we as humans are fucking amazing. Like we can do such crazy stuff. It's
like whenever you're feeling down, watch a YouTube clip like humans are amazing, whatever part we're in now. It's a 10-minute, 15-minute clip.
Then the next one's always humans are terrible, like fails. And then I'm like, oh god damn.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. But I get sucked in. Autoplays, man. Fucking autoplays. Oh man, true that. I think that's a really good lesson in life. Just switch off autoplay.
Yeah.
So we did the episode about positivity,
Yeah.
We were focused on everything that humans have done in that has progressed in a good way.
So many things.
Yeah. So keep it cool. Cold is best. Stay cold.
Stay really cold. -15, man.
Don't be materialistic people, but gold is best.
Gold is best.
Oh, gold.
Gold, yeah.
What are you talking about cold?
No.
Like Estonians. I've been really enjoying it. It's my first properly cold winter. It's been great, man. Cycling in -15.
You're nuts.
Dude, it was fucking great. It was great.
It's insane.
At least, maybe we're breaking down some stereotypes about English and African people. I'm probably more English than African, but I was raised in Africa. But yeah, we ain't scared of no cold.
You ain't scared of no cold?
No.
Wait.
Is it going to get worse than -15? Like, how cold are we going to get?
Yeah,
25.
It does. Yeah.
30.
Fine, I'll cycle minus 30.
I will be next to you in my car. How are you doing?
It's cold!
Just gonna freeze in place as like a statue. That's an awesome statue. Wow, you look.
Stupid Englishman.
Yeah, cool. Maybe you have a song you want to recommend to our people that we could smoothly
put the tune in the end.
Yeah, smoothly go into.
You have a lot of
Oh wow, I wasn't really expecting that.
It can be a surprise.
What's that?
Yeah.
Mr. Scruff tune.
Yeah, we don't know.
Move on. Get a move on by Mr. Scruff.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Something very close to that.
And that will be playing right now.
Make it funky.
Yeah.